in the mosque, and we go to the Masjid, the etiquette regarding walking to the Masjid, going to the Masjid. But as we stood up, a brother came and asked, what is the ruling guiding the At-Tawari, the pillars in the Masjid? What are the rulings around them? Do they have a ruling? I said, okay, we'll discuss it next week. I walked out, the brother came again. What about if the Masjid is not facing the Qibla correctly? What do we do? So we'll discuss it next week. So that is why I have brought these two issues here. The first is regarding the Qibla. If you want to fix the direction to which the mosque or towards which the mosque will face, you must make a decision about the Qibla code, the direction that the Masjid should face. Otherwise, Masail issues regarding the Qibla are discussed under Salah, because they are from the shurut of Salah, the conditions for an accepted Salah. Istiqbal al-Qibla, Satr al-Awra, these are issues outside Ahkam al-Masajid. They are under Fiqh al-Salah. But the matter is that before you build the Masjid, you must determine its Qibla. So they also have a relationship with the Masjid. So that is why we also chose to discuss it here, because we may not come across it again in Fiqh Salah. And if we come across it, we will not spend time on it, because we would have discussed it. So the Qibla is the direction where Muslims face during Salah. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, in the entirety of the time that he spent in Makkah, he was praying and facing Baytul Maqdis. The first 13 years of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Yes, Isra al-Miraj took place in about the last 3 years before Hijrah, which would mean that Salah became obligatory about the last 3 years. And for the first 10 years of the Prophet's stay in Medina, we have not gotten these Khamsu Salawat that we observe. We will come back to this Nawaqi when we come back to Salah, the times for Salah. Because it will come under, why was it that it was Salah to Zuhr, the first time, the first Salah? Each time the Prophet was taught by Jibreel alayhi salatu wasalam was Zuhr. Why? Because when he came back from Al-Mi'raj, the next Salah he was to perform was Zuhr. So Jibreel started with that, and we will come back to that. So the last 3 years, Salah became as the kind of Salah we know, comes to Salawat, Al-Wajibat. The 5 daily Salah that we perform today became obligatory on us after Al-Isra and Al-Mi'raj. They are always connected together, but it was during Mi'raj, because Isra was his movement to Baytul Maqdis and Al-Mi'raj was his ascension into the heavens. Alayhi salatu. The first Salawat he was observing until he got to Medina itself, he was facing Baytul Maqdis. But as is reported in the hadith of Bara bin Azib and others, all he wanted, he loved alayhi salatu wasalam that he should face Masjid al-Haram. So Allah mentioned that in the Quran. قَدْ نَرَى تَقَلُّبَ وَجْهِكَ فِي السَّمَاءِ. We have seen you, O Muhammad alayhi salam, that you look up, begging us, you turn your face to the sky. What was he asking for, subhanahu wa ta'ala? He was, alayhi salatu, he was begging Allah regarding the issue of tahwil al-Qibla, that the Qibla should be changed. So Allah promised him and said, فَلَنُوَلِّيَنَّكَ قِبْلَةً تَرْضَاهَا. You will still turn your face towards that Qibla that you like, that you are pleased with, alayhi salatu. So it says, فَوَلِّ وَجْهَكَ شَطْرَ الْمَسْجِدِ الْحَرَامِ. This is the command. If you are asked, what is the dalil that we should face the Qibla? Yes, Allah said that, فَوَلِّ وَجْهَكَ شطر المسجد الحرام. So turn your face now. شطر المسجد الحرام. In the direction, in the jiha, in the nahiyah. That is the meaning of shatr. Although shatr can also mean half of a thing. After shatr al-iman. But here shatr means nahiyah. It means jiha, direction. So it is فَوَلِّ وَجْهَكَ شَطْرَ الْمَسْجِدِ الْحَرَامِ. So turn your face in the direction of Al-Masjid al-Haram. And then he says, subhanahu wa ta'ala, فَحَيْثُمَا كُنْتُمْ فَوَلُّوا وُجُوهَكُمْ شَطْرَهُ. So wherever you are, the rest of you. The first one was sufficient for the rest of us. If the Messenger alayhi salatu wasalam was ordered to face the Masjid al-Haram, we are also ordered to face Masjid al-Haram. So even فَوَلِّ وَجْهَكَ شَطْرَ الْمَسْجِدِ الْحَرَامِ. It's just like يَا أَيُّهَا النَّبِيُّ إِذَا طَلَّقْتُمُ النِّسَاءَ. Yes, the direction, the order is directed to the Messenger alayhi salam. But the ruling encompasses who? Everybody. It says يَا أَيُّهَا النَّبِيُّ إِذَا طَلَّقْتُمُ النِّسَاءَ. Prophet, when all of you divorce a woman. Yes, he called the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. They were addressing the Prophet and who? And his ummah. So فَوَلِّ وَجْهَكَ شَطْرَ الْمَسْجِدِ الْحَرَامِ. So you should turn your face in the direction of Al-Masjid al-Haram. It's also an order that is meant for the rest of us. Because when the Messenger leads the Salah, it is not possible for us. إِنَّمَا جُعِلَ الْإِمَامُ لِيُؤْتَمَّ. So when we meet and face Masjid al-Haram, we cannot back Masjid al-Haram. We cannot back where he faces sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So it's an order directed to him, but meant to apply to the rest of us. Yes, he still emphasizes it and so the rest of you, from wherever you are, all of you should turn in the direction of Al-Masjid al-Haram. So this is evidence that we must face Qibla during Salah. Somebody asked us, why are you facing Qibla in Salah? Allah says, وَوَلُّوا وُجُوهَكُمْ شَطْرَهُ. All of you should turn your face in the direction, in its direction. Direction of what? Shatr al-Masjid. In the direction of Al-Masjid al-Haram. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Although there are a lot of issues regarding this verse. Al-Imam al-Qurtubi rahimahullah. So this verse is the evidence for Qibla, like others say. By Ijma' bil Ijma'. So he said rahimahullah, وَأَجْمَعُوا عَلَىٰ أَنَّ مَنْ شَاهَدَهَا. The ulama have consensus that whoever is looking at the Kaaba like this, وَعَايَنَهَا, and can particularly recognize it, this is Kaaba, is looking at it. يُرِدُ عَلَيْهِ اسْتِقْبَالُهَا. It's turning in that direction is obligatory on him. It's made obligatory on him. يُرِدُ عَلَيْهِ اسْتِقْبَالُهَا. It's seeing Kaaba. It's looking at the Kaaba. It is obligatory on him to face the Kaaba. This is a matter of what ijma. It says وَأَنَّهُ إِنْ تَرَكَ اسْتِقْبَالَهَا. They are also agreed that if he leaves to face this Qibla, this Kaaba, somebody is in Makkah, inside Masjid al-Haram, so we are not going to face it, I will face it like this. People see that too. I've heard it before. And that somebody said, in Kaaba, they said Kaaba, you must face the Kaaba. So if you are performing Salah anywhere in Masjid al-Haram, ensure that you are facing the Kaaba. Because large number of people sometimes you don't know where you are facing. So ensure that you are properly facing. As long as you are seeing it, you must be facing it. He said, Rahimahullah, he said, وَأَنَّهُ إِنْ تَرَكَ اسْتِقْبَالَهَا وَهُوَ مُعَايِنٌ لَهَا وَعَالِمٌ بِجِهَتِهَا فَلَا صَلَاةَ لَهُ. He said they are also agreed that if he abandons to face the Qibla, وَهُوَ مُعَايِنٌ لَهَا, when he can see and actually recognize it, وَعَالِمٌ بِجِهَتِهَا, when he knows the direction of the Qibla, That kind of a person does not have a salah is batila. He said rahimahullah, وأجمعوا على أن كل من غاب عنها. They are also agreed that the one who is away from that al-Kaaba, Ladina, they are away from the Kaaba. We can't see it. May Allah make it easy for us to all see it. It's one of the things that will agitate your mind towards Iman when you see the Kaaba. People like Al-Imam Qatada ibn Bi'am al-Sadusi and Mujahid ibn Jabr al-Makki, they are of the opinion that it is of virtue for an individual to sit in front of the Kaaba and be looking at it. They say it is virtuous. It's a good thing to do. May Allah make it easy. وأجمعوا على أن كل من غاب عنها أن يستقبل ناحيتها. They are also agreed that the one who is far away from the Qibla, يستقبل ناحيتها, he will face that direction, each direction. He face the direction of the Kaaba. يشطرها وتلقاءها. He will face ناحيتها وشطرها وتلقاءها. They all mean the same thing. Sharp direction. تلقاءها. Inward. That is where he will face. فإن خفيت عليه, if it becomes unknown, obscure to him, how do I face it now? Somebody comes into the house, travels to here is a remote area, very well, very remote. Someone travels to Otoke and he does not know the direction of the Qibla. No masjid. He can't find a Muslim to ask. What does he do? So, فَعَلَيْهِ أَنْ يَسْتَدِلَّ عَلَى ذَلِكَ بِكُلِّ مَا يُمْكِنُهُ. عليه أن يستدل على ذلك بكل ما يمكنه. It is upon that individual أن يستدل على ذلك, to find a way of determining that بكل ما يمكنه من النجوم, with any of what is possible for him to do, such as using the stars. People know how to do it. I don't know how to do it. But Arabs have a way of determining the direction of the Qibla when they look at the stars. They look up, they recognize the stars. Allah mentioned it in the Quran that the message it is there, it's in the June. You look in the stars, say this is stars. So say, I have a professor. He still does it till today. Unfortunately, we did not learn that from him. He knows the stars. He can recognize this is star, so, this is star, so. If it's in this direction, then we are facing north. If it's in that direction, we are in the east. If we are like this, he knows it. Arabs know it too. So he said, if you are in the remote area, you must look for the stars to use it to identify your direction of Qibla. Likewise, the direction of the wind blowing. When the wind is blowing, you must be able to determine your direction with the wind. You are jibal. Likewise, the mountains. People who live in remote areas, they know how to use these things. And that would mean that the compass, the Qibla finder we use today is in the ruling of all of these. It has the ruling of using something to determine your Qibla. This is from where the evidence is reviewed. وغير ذلك مما يمكن أن يستدل به على ناحيتها, and other apart from these, from amongst those things that it is possible for us أن يستدل به على ناحيتها, to employ to determine its direction. Whatever we can use to determine the direction. Somebody can say, you say you are Salafi, Dalil. What is the Dalil that somebody can use Qibla finder to find Qibla? Ijma. The Ijma is that it is allowed for us to use anything that is known. This is also the factor of alleged dies. That if a thing, an instrument is known that it actually determines the Qibla, then we use it. We depend on it. Somebody can ask us, why is Qibla finder? Then it is Ijma. That whatever is known that this thing determines it, then we depend on it. As far as its use and benefit is determined, like the stars and moon and others. That is not to say it may not have errors, just like it is not to say that the individual may not wrongly determine the direction of the moon and the mountains and the wind as they used to do in those days. So as those ones are prone to error, this one too is prone to error. But the most probable thing is that it will determine it. So and Dr. Roger in this kind of situation is alive. If after this effort it is still a mistake, then you will follow on. لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها. So Allah will not burden us beyond what we are able to do. They say al-qudratu manatu taqlid. So after these efforts, there is still some error. We determine it. So no, it's still like this. It's still like this. There is no blame on the individual. All of these that I have read from Al-Imam al-Qurtubi occurs in his book Al-Jami' al-Ahkam al-Quran. Now, so these are issues that determine that make us understand that we have to face the Qibla. There is also the hadith of Abu Huraira, the one who prayed badly, the companion who prayed badly. Abu Huraira reported his hadith. And in that hadith, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, إِذَا كُنْتَ إِلَى الصَّلَاةِ فَأَصْبِغِ الْوُضُوءِ. When you stand up to pray, when you are ready to pray, make sure you perform the wudu correctly. ثُمَّ اسْتَقْبِلِ الْقِبْلَةِ. Then face the Qibla. This is command from the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We are just saying what are the evidence that we must face Qibla. These are the evidence. One from Quran, one from Sunnah, one from Ijma. But there are some of the people, let us mention this, that not facing the Qibla is excuse for them. There are situations where we may not face the Qibla for Salah. One of such situations is when we are on a ride, on a journey. Somebody is on a ride, on a journey, he may not face the Qibla to perform nawafil. Somebody is on a ride during a journey and he wants to make it, for example, you may not come down, just sit up there and go on with your ima'at. You are on a plane, you want to make nawafil, go on with ima'at. Nawafil. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Jabir ibn Abdullah al-Ansari said, كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم يصلي على راحلته حيث توجهت. The Prophet صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم will pray on his mount in whichever direction that it faces. فإذا أراد الفريضة. But whenever he wanted to make an obligatory salah, nazala fastaqbala al-qibla. He will descend and then face the qibla. That hadith occurs in Bukhari. The other group of people, the one that's on a ride and that is making nafila, he heard that if he wants to make an obligatory salah, what did he do? He will come down and perform. Don't forget, so that you don't go and say, oh, they said we can perform salah on a mount. But they are performing nawaf. If you want to pray obligatory salah, you come down and make your obligatory salah. And the nawafil that the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam used to make or would make when he was on the journey are rakat al-fajr and what? Salatul witr. Alayhi salatu wa salam, as is in the hadith of Abdullah ibn Umar. Now, the others amongst those who may not face the Qibla, they are al-khaif, salatul khaif. Somebody under intense fear. If you come down, they shoot you. May Allah protect us. So there is a situation like this. You come down, they kidnap you. Or things like this. You come down, an animal picks you up. Somebody who goes to visit a wildlife area, perhaps in Kenya or in South Africa or in, I think, Zimbabwe too. You are in wildlife, you come down. And the lion just comes and says, Alhamdulillah, and you are ruku. So don't come down. Perform your salah on your right. May Allah protect us. Likewise, al-Marid, somebody who is intensely sick. You can't even carry him to turn any direction. You allow him to perform his salah. You allow the one who is not able to do it too. You allow the one who is compelled. Maybe somebody is tied down somewhere. He's tied down. You Allah protect us. There is no way you can't turn anywhere. Just be performing your salah. You Allah protect us. So all of these are allowed, as is in the hadith of Abdullah ibn Umar reported by Al-Imam al-Bukhari. It's a lengthy hadith. He said رضي الله عنهما فإن كان خوف هو أشد من ذلك, if it were a situation of fear stronger than what is described in that hadith, صلوا, the Muslims will pray رجالا, they will pray on their صلوا رجالا قياما على أقدامهم, they could pray on their feet رجالا قياما while standing على أقدامهم on their feet, or ركبانا, or that they are on their right, they could pray whether standing on their feet on the ground or while they are on their right. مستقبلي قبلة, while facing the Qibla, or غير مستقبليها, or while not facing the Qibla. So when fear is intense, the individual can pray whether he's able to stand or is on the right, or whether he's facing the Qibla or is not facing the Qibla. Fear can make the individual not to pray while facing the Qibla. Being tied down, difficulties he cannot change, they are Allah protected. All of these can make an individual not to perform his salah in the direction of the Qibla. The point is that a basic thing that has to be considered while constructing a mosque is that that mosque should face the Qibla. And the ulama say, Al-Lajna Da'ima, they say, even when that Qibla, let's discuss this point, because it's usually mentioned. If the Qibla finder is used and then it finds that point, so is the direction we must face. And then there is some little deviation from that point. Is it allowed? Allah Da'ima, they say it is allowed. I think we discussed this issue a little. We even mentioned the range of allowance when we employ the hadith of Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, that ma bayna al-mashriqi wal-maghribi qibla. That the ulama, Shaykh Ahmad Shakir, in his tahqiq of Sunan al-Tirmidhi, we discussed this at length. He even gave references to books that you can consult. That this hadith means that the Qibla is not a point. The Qibla is what? A direction. So you can face it like this, like this, like this, like this. But you must not go away from that plane. So if the direction of the Qibla is like this, it is allowed like this. It is allowed like this. It is allowed. Deviations are allowed. Allah has given us the latitude. It's big rock. It's big rock. So people should not know it is not exactly facing it, so we have to destroy the mosque. You may not do that if there is sufficient knowledge and patience. Allah makes it easy for us. So that is the issue about Al-Qibla. When they say the man sitting here to do for Qibla, to do for Qibla, be patient. To what extent? Is it within an allowable extent or outside the allowable extent? Also, if it is possible that yes, the masjid has been built in a particular direction like this, but people can stay there and still face a better direction. It is still better than facing the direction that has deviations. I hope this point is clear. If it is facing like this, and the masjid is built like this, it is still better if they can adjust it than to remain like that. But when they remain like that, they are still upon the Qibla. So there is an issue that some leverage latitude is allowed. The second point is as-sawari, the pillars in the masjid. What is the meaning of the pillars in masjid? Abdul Hamid ibn Mahmoud al-Ma'wali, one of the tabi'un, he said, rahimahullah, صليت مع أنس بن مالك يوم الجمعة. On a Friday, صليت مع أنس بن مالك. I prayed alongside or together with Anas ibn Malik on the day of Jum'ah. فَجُفَيْنَا إِلَّا السَّوَارِ. In other riwayat of this hadith, it occurs that it was Marwan that was leading the Jum'ah. And there were a lot of people in the masjid. So there was rush, push, you go front, you go back. So that was why he says, بِفَيْنَا إِلَى السَّوَارِ. We were pushed to the pillars in that masjid. He said, فَتَقَدَّمْنَا وَتَأَخَّرْنَا. We are going forward and backward because of the because of the pushing and all that was noticed in the masjid. فَقَالَ أَنَسْ رَضِيَ اللَّهُ عَنْهُ. So Anas said to us, كُنَّا نَتَّقِي هَذَا عَلَى عَهْدِ رَسُولِ اللَّهِ. In other riwayat, it made it clearer that they finally had to pray in between two pillars. This pillar where Hamdan Da'iman is staying. Stand up, please. Sorry. Turn the Qibla, turn the direction. Like this. This is praying in between two pillars. This is what we are talking about now. Is it allowed for a soft to be like this? This way. And then it goes on like that. Between this and that. And then between this and that. Is it allowed? And they did that. We are going forth and backward until at the end of the day we found ourselves in between the pillars, together with Anas ibn Malik. So we said, radiyallahu anhu, inna nattaki, we used to avoid these things, ala ahdi Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. In the time of the Prophet, we used to avoid to stay in this kind of place. Ulama say this is evidence that if we pray there, the salah is allowed. The salah is accepted. But it is disliked for us to pray in between the pillars. There is a clearer text, some of them even say that it is haram. That is the hadith of Muawiyah ibn Qurra that he reported from his father radiyallahu anhu. He said, Kunna munha. We used to be prohibited. Anna suffa bayna as-sawari. Kunna, in the past, munha. We used to be prohibited. We used to be forbidden. Anna suffa bayna as-sawari. That we should make our sufuf in between the pillars. We used to be prohibited. Don't do that. بين السواري. It is على عهد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. فهو في حكم الرفع. إنا ننهى أن نصف بين السواري على عهد رسول الله. We used to be prohibited from praying in between the pillars during the time of the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. So who was prohibiting them? Who was prohibiting them? The Messenger alayhi salatu wasalam. He didn't say they don't pray. So that was why Anas bin Malik was avoiding it. In the time of it, we used to avoid this kind of places, praying in between pillars. So we should avoid it too as much as possible. And Imam Sa'id ibn Mansur in his Sunan, he has reported that Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, Abdullah ibn Abbas, and Huzaifa ibn al-Yaman, they also used to prohibit it. They pray in between the pillars. And Imam ibn Sayyid al-Nas, one of those who did the Sharh of Sunan al-Tirmidhi, says, لا يعرف لهم مخالف في الصحابة. We don't know anyone amongst the companions who used to say, leave the people, let them pray there. No, they did not used to say, don't pray there. They used to say, don't pray there. But no companion came up to say, no, Allow the people to pray. Meaning that prohibition is something that is established. So avoid it as they used to avoid it. And avoid it because they are also prohibited from it. So they will avoid it naturally. Amongst those who said it is manhiyun and it is a prohibited thing to pray in between the pillars was Al-Imam Ibn Khuzaymah. He mentioned this hadith occurs in Ibn Khuzaymah and he made a taboo that this is a nahyu there's a prohibition for us to pray in between pillars in a masjid. So these are the matters regarding it. But this is regarding sufuf, don't forget. An individual can pray in between pillars. He's praying in nawaf. But anna suffa bayna as-sawari. We are prohibited from making what? Sufuf. So what is prohibited is what? Sufuf. In between as-sawari, the pillars in a masjid. But in case somebody prays there, does he have salah? This question can come. Yes, he has salah. As did Anas ibn Malik with those people. Although he told them that. This is also evidence, ikhwa. If there is something you need to tell your people, when you do it, tell them that look, the reason I'm doing this thing is so. Although it's not allowed. If there is a compelling reason, the other time we mentioned the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he prayed on the mimbar. When he finished, what did he do? So I only prayed there so that I could show you my salah. I want you to see how I'm praying. So that's why ulama say, if it is for that purpose, yes. So when you do something that is strange and the people are watching, tell them the reason why you did it. But there are circumstances you may not be able to say it. You don't follow him until you have asked him. Ulama will say, La taf'alu kama yaf'alu al-faqih. Salhu yusaddiquka. Don't do as a scholar has done. Ask him first. If you know something and he did something, don't just follow him. Ask him first, Madam, please, this is what you did. Then he tell you why he did it. If it is something that is sunnah in that circumstance, he will tell you. If it is something that is not allowed, he will tell you. If it is something that he has forgotten, he will thank you, Jazakallah khair. I forgot. As you read in the hadith of Ubayy ibn Yaman, he was drawn backwards by the companion. Why are you praying that I forgot? Didn't you see that I also remembered? It means somebody can know a ruling and may forget it. And it also means that you can give your brothers excuses when you see them from afar doing something. Why did you do this? Let's see why. Perhaps you will explain. I said so because of so, or I did so because of so. Be patient. Many times people want to say, you are wrong. They don't know from where the man is coming from. They don't know where it's coming. I had a similar experience in Ramadan. We were discussing kaba'ir, major sins and minor sins. So I read the verse, الذين يجتنبون كبائر الإثم والفواحش إلا اللمم. So I said al-lamam could mean kabira. Somebody was there just interjected me. So lamam cannot mean kabira. Lamam, some of the tabi'un consider al-lamam to be the kaba'ir that people were committing before they accepted Islam. And that was where I was going. I want to mention more fawaid. Then he interjected there, so I stopped talking. Because the correct thing is what he has said. I also believe that al-lamam actually means the minor sin, Sagira. But he didn't allow me to learn, so I have to keep quiet. So don't interject. Allow the man to learn. In fact, perhaps you go, what did you mean that give me more explanation. So be patient. Knowledge deserves patience. I tell you this. If you are patient in the circles of learning, wallahi, you will do so many things. But if you are impatient in the circles of, you will not even know from where they are coming from. And it's not common. Allah makes things easy for us. So It is discouraged to perform salah in between pillars. I also had an experience with one of the ulama in Medina, Shaykh Dr. Samir ibn Amir al-Zuhairi. One of the students was Shaykh Abu Naasir. I mentioned his name in At-Tasfiyah in about 2 or 3 places. He even made knuckle of some of his works of 3-4 pages. And Imam al-Albani mentioned him and was quoting from him in his review against Shaykh Ismail al-Ansari. I'm talking about Shaykh Samir al-Zuhairi. He left his house, he came to Masjid al-Nabawi to make Salat al-Asr, Salat al-Maghrib. So we are making the rules. So people were shopping. It didn't even occur to me. I was standing in between you. He just grabbed my hands and drew me forward. Then I remembered, yes, I was standing in between the pillars. So it will happen like that. Many things will happen. May Allah forgive us. So the ruling, that's why some of the ulama like Shaykh Khairuddin Wani, he said, if there's no need for the pillars, don't put it in the masjid. If there's no need for it, don't put it. If there's no need, according to need, so that it will not be obstructing the sufi in the masjid. Because we will avoid it. We will avoid it. May Allah protect us. I think these two are sufficient about the masail we promised that we could discuss. They are regarding the building of the masjid, the issue of the qibla, and the issue of as-sawari, the pillars in the masjid. We are actually going to talk about today the manners and the etiquettes of going to the masjid. The first of them is ikhlasul niyyah, because going to the masjid is ibadah. So every ibadah must be done with sincere intention. If it is not done with sincere intention, it's a punishment for that person who has done it. May Allah protect us. Allah says, Man kana yuridu al-hayata ad-dunya wa zinataha. What does he say? يوفي إليه أعمالهم فيها. يوفي إليهم أعمالهم فيها. If a person does something for the sake of this dunya, that is his intention. يوفي إليه. We will give him the full measure of what he has done. فيها, in this dunya also. وهم فيها, regarding what they have done, لا يبخسون. Allah will not reduce their rewards. You give you everything this dunya. If you want to be a pop, you want popularity, you are popular. You want them to hear, you are heard. But no reward. The reward is observed already, cool? It is you want to hear, so you are heard. You want popularity, you are gotten it. So what reward are you waiting for? So that's why it says, أُولَٰئِكَ لَيْسَ لَهُمْ فِي الْآخِرَةِ إِلَّا النَّارُ. What is remaining? In the hereafter, fire. لَيْسَ لَهُمْ فِي الْآخِرَةِ إِلَّا النَّارُ. الاستثناء في سياق النفي. لَيْسَ لَهُمْ. The only thing they will have is fire. And then it says لَيْسَ لَهُمْ استحقاق. The only thing that they deserve is fire. وَحَبِطَ مَا صَنَعُوا فِيهَا. All of those things they have done is wasted. وَبَاطِلٌ مَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ. And all of what they have done is vain. Batil, because it is not accompanied with sincere intention. Unfortunately, I cannot cure your own and you cannot cure my own. So it is every person that will look at his own mind and make sure that Shaitan does not throw away his actions with insincere intention. Every ibadah you make, every ibadah, Shaitan is coming to destroy it for you. May Allah protect us. That's why the Prophet Muhammad, alayhi salatu wassalam, because coming to the masjid is ibadah, it has a lot of rewards. It is man atal masjida li shay'in fahuwa hazzuhu. Man atal masjida li shay'in. Whoever comes to the masjid for a particular purpose, fahuwa hazzuhu. That his purpose is what he did. Let me go to the masjid so that I can meet my friends. That is what we do. Let me go to the masjid so that I can sell my jalabia. That is what we do. But if the person is originally is let me perform salah, when I finish my salah, and it is part of the places where he sells, he takes, he sells the ordinary. He has not come to the masjid just for selling. He came for salah and then selling, because Allah says, إِذَا قَضَيْتُمْ مَنَاسِكَكُمْ, if you go for Hajj, after your Hajj, what did he say? إِذَا قَضَيْتُمْ مَنَاسِكَكُمْ فَاذْكُرُوا اللَّهَ عِنْدَ الْمَشْعَرِ الْحَرَامِ. Before that, فَإِذَا قُضِيَتِ الصَّلَاةُ فَانْتَشِرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ وَابْتَغُوا مِنْ فَضْلِ اللَّهِ وَاذْكُرُوا اللَّهَ كَثِيرًا. This is what the one I want. So when you finish your Hajj, or when you finish your Salatul Jum'ah, the one in Makkah is Hajj. But one of the ulama has mentioned it to me, Shaykh Mashhur Hassan al-Salman. There was an issue regarding somebody making tijara. We were in Makkah together at the time. So I was asking him, why is that person? So he quoted this verse. He said, well, after his Hajj, he could make some profit. He could make tijara after Hajj. Meanwhile, he has not performed the Hajj because of the tijara. He came to make Hajj. After the Hajj, he wants to make tijara. It means if we come to the masjid for salah, for halqa, for dars, then there is tijara outside, no problem. But make sure that your intention, your major intention of coming to the masjid is salah, or your halqa, or your class, or whatever you are doing. Then after that, some people will fix a person, no, you meet at halqa. It depends on this. Sister, I didn't come to halqa yesterday. Yes, I didn't come, I was visiting her. She's coming to halqa to meet friends. Ulama mentioned this. People come to Masjid to meet their friends. فَهُوَ حَظُّهُ, that is his reward. وَإِنَّمَا لِكُلِّ امْرِئٍ مَا نَوَى, and every individual will gain just what he has intended. May Allah help us to use our intention. Amongst the things the individual has to take care of when he's coming to the masjid, أَنْ يَبْتَعِدَ عَنِ الرَّوَائِحِ الْكَرِيهَةِ, he should avoid bad smell, bad odor. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the hadith was reported by Jabir ibn Abdullah al-Ansari. It says, مَنْ أَكَلَ الْبَصَلِ وَالثَّوْمَ وَالْقُرَّاءِ. مَنْ أَكَلَ الْبَصَلِ, whoever eats onion, وَالثَّوْمَ, or garlic, والثوم, مَنْ أَكَلَ الْبَصَلِ وَالثُّومَ, whoever eats onion and then garlic, wal-qurras, or leek. Leek is in the category of onions too. It's a plant like onions too. It is called leek, L-E-E-K, qurra in Arabic. It says, فَلَا يَقْرَبَنَّ مَسْجِدَنَا, let him not try it at all to come near. Why did I say try it at all? Because there is a key there. فَلَا يَقْرَبَنَّ مَسْجِدَنَا, let that person not come near our mosque at all. Come near. La yaqrabanna masjidan, let him not near our mosque. The Prophet said so, alayhi salatu wassalam. فَإِنَّ الْمَلَائِكَةَ, because the angels, تَتَعَزَّى مِمَّا يَتَعَزَّى مِنْهُ بَنُو آدَمَ, the angels are harmed, they are caused harm by the like of things that causes other human beings, that causes human beings harm. The kind of things that harm human beings harm malaika. So two things. If a person comes to the masjid while having eaten onion or leek or garlic, then he comes to the masjid, he is hearing the smell, and we don't like the smell of this thing. So we will be harmed by it. And then the malaika too will be harmed by the like of what we are harmed by. So two things. You are harming human beings, you are also harming what? The angels. So don't come to don't near the mosque when you take these things. Ulama say things like cigarettes have this reward too. Cigar. Don't smoke cigar and then come to the masjid. If you do it in Masjid al-Haram now, they will arrest you. You know that? Yes. You had before. If you enter a toilet, you see people. Now, if you are caught, you are good. In fact, this year I got aware now that they are stricter now. This too. This Hajj. May Allah make it easy for us. It's not late. Say I know very well. So, when a person is oozing with any kind of negative smell, don't come to the masjid. Make sure the smell goes away before you come. May Allah protect us. That hadith we read of Jabir ibn Abdullah occurs in Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim. The third thing, أن يأخذ الزينة ويتجمل. The individual should take good clothes and dress well. Come to the masjid, dress well to the masjid. If they say, inshallah brother, tomorrow you'll be visiting, I will say President Bukhari, that one is far. You'll be visiting Commissioner of Finance tomorrow in Oshobo. There is a way you will dress down there. Even if it is that white jalabia you still have, there is a way you will prepare that jalabia between now and tomorrow morning. You iron it, you prepare it in. If you can take it to dry cleaner to wash it for you, take it so that it will be shiner. Not to talk of visiting a governor, not to talk of visiting a minister, or even visiting Asorok. I'm sure many of us will not dress like this if we are visiting Asorok. Like this, we are like this. We not dress like this. Our cars will not be this type of. What about you are visiting Rabbil Alamin in his house? It deserves that we dress properly when we come to the masjid. He himself called on us, Ya Bani Adam, خُذُوا زِينَتَكُمْ عِنْدَ كُلِّ مَسْجِدٍ. O children of Adam, خُذُوا زِينَتَكُمْ, take off good clothes عِنْدَ كُلِّ مَسْجِدٍ. When you go to any masjid, where I wash your didi now. Some people have some jalabia they hang in their house. So when they wear good clothes outside, when they come back, they wear the bath, if they like, and then they carry the jalabia. What are you doing? But the one that he wears to very important functions, you will not see it hanging. It doesn't mean you may not have a jalabia if it is a good clean one. Such that perhaps the person is a mechanic, as some of the ulama, Shaykh Abu Naasir, Bali, who did Hikayat al-Insan. They have a book about Salah. Mistakes people commit in Salah. And one of the things he said is that people who have jobs that make them sweat and that get them dirty, they should have another cloth for Salah. So that when they want to go for Salah, they will quickly change to that cloth, go for Salah, and then come back to their manual jobs. The point is, when we go for Salah, we should dress up and go in a very, very neat manner. Because we are going to the house of Rabbil Alamin. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in a hadith in Sahih Muslim, Jazakallahu khairan, says, Inna Allah jamilun yuhibbul jamal. Inna Allah jamilun yuhibbul jamal. Allah is beautiful and He likes beauty. If what you are used to do, Allah likes it. Should I not do what Allah likes? It means it is ibadah. Because ibadah is ma yuhibbu Allahu wa Allah. It's ibadah to dress well. When the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was talking about arrogance, one companion went to say, Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, me, I like to wear good cloth and fine cap. He said, that is not the one that I'm talking about. The Prophet alayhi salatu wa sallam was talking about arrogance and pride. Somebody said, Prophet, you like good cap and clothes. So, that is not pride. So some people have hazard for you. When you dress well and wear good, I think, oh, you are arrogant. They won't be like, People to wear good cap if you have. Arrogance is not known by the cloth that a man wears until that cloth is drying on the ground. This is arrogance. As long as it is this our cloth sooner that we are cutting deliberately, there's no arrogance. Or if it is Babariga you want to wear it, there's no arrogance. Let it be fine. Because Allah likes Jamal. Good clean ones, beautiful ones. And you can say, I want to find your Jamal like Jamal. Allah likes beauty. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you want to go, we want to go, I want to go. God Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he wears good clothes. Umar radiallahu anhu saw a good clothes. Nice one, silk. There's good material. The prophet, take this one. The problem is the material. Ulama didn't say the problem is why did you buy me a clean clothes? He said the material. It means if the material is allowed, no problem. So when you meet people, you meet eminent people, you wear this clothes. Ulama said that is evidence that when you meet eminent people, you wear good clothes. All of that, the prophet did not make a nephew of it to Umar. The only thing he criticized in that action of Umar is what? The material. So as long as the material is allowed, is halal, wear good clothes. Wear good clothes. To the light, especially. Let us say, why? Say, I don't know, I'm coming to visit my Lord. It's one thing I enjoy about my in-laws in the north. One of the things you know that today is Juma in the north is that Salat to Subi, you see people with fine clothes. Subi, you see them, you say, today is Juma. If you have forgotten that it was Juma, you remember when you see them with cap, today, Juma. Even children, fine clothes. Once you go out in the morning, start seeing people, clothes, well dressed, you will know that today is Juma. May Allah protect us. Let's make efforts. It's ibadah you should be with love. Allah likes it and is pleased with it. That we dress well. Take care of ourselves. We are not even with smell. Somebody comes here and says, you don't come to the masjid if you are like that. Look at our religion. Somebody says, don't come like that first. Clean it up first. Use perfume first. The one thing that to use perfume is the prophet used to use perfume alayhi salat. Even while wearing ihram, Aisha radiallahu anha poured perfume on her hand and was rubbing it. So the cream he rubbed alayhi salat ihram. He was rubbing it on his body to make you understand how much he likes perfume. And he made it prohibited for you to reject a gift of perfume. It's not important. And he says, I have been made to love from the things of this world. What and what? Perfume and the women. The prophet likes the women. He takes care of their attention. So how the Western world began to say that Islam oppresses women is what we don't understand. When our prophet declared love for them, and made all the laws to favor the women. You come back and say Islam hates women. How? Our prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam declared that these people, he says, Antum ahabbul khalqi ilayya. You are the most beloved of the creature of Allah to me. So why will he oppress them, alayhi salatu? And in all the legislations Allah and the messenger makes for the women, you see it in conformity with the naturality of a woman. So how then is it that Islam is oppressing women? Allah protect us. Rather, it is the Western world that is oppressing women. They have turned women to things of advertisement. Yes. They even call them models now and celebrities. What are they using them for? They are oppressing them because after they use them, they throw them away. Yes, use and dump. They use them to make money. What is the meaning of a model? A woman will come and expose herself so that some men can make profit from it. That's all. Turn them to commodity. Most noble people. If you love a thing, you conceal it. Go. In banks, how big is the space? And how well secure does the bank make effort to secure the money inside it? Because it is a thing of value. So when he says, the women should stay at home, it is because he loves them and he considers them valuable. If you love something, you don't throw it out. You keep it, you preserve it, you close it. The day you will bring it out, you will still not throw it to the public. You will still be in it. Women are very valuable to us in Islam. We are talking about the rulings concerning the Masjid, and that Islam encourages us to beautify ourselves when we come to the Masjid. The fourth rule regarding coming to the Masjid, al-wudu. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam said, مَا مِنْ رَجُلٍ يَتَطَهَّرُ فَيُحْسِنُ الطُّهُورَ. There is not a man that makes purification. Tahara here is wudu. فَيُحْسِنُ الطُّهُورَ. And then he makes this purification properly. He does it well. ثُمَّ يَعْمِدُ إِلَى الْمَسْجِدِ. And then he deliberately intends to go to the masjid. مِنْ هَذِهِ الْمَسَاجِدِ. One of these our mosques. إِلَّا كَتَبَ اللَّهُ لَهُ بِكُلِّ خَطْوَةٍ يَخْطُوهَا حَسَنَةً. Except that for every khatwa, for every step you take, the person who is clean, good intention, everything is well dressed, is going to the masjid. When he takes one step, Allah will write a good reward for him. وَيَرْفَعُهُ بِهَا دَرَجَةً. One step, you will get three things. The first one, a good reward. Allah alone knows its quantity. The second one, يَرْفَعُكَ بِهِ دَرَجَةً. Allah will raise you by one stage, one rank up. Between one rank and the other, Allah alone knows it. And then he says, وَيَحِطُ عَنْهَا أَمْنُهُ بِهَا سَيِّئَةً. And by that step, Allah counsels a sin, a rule for you. So three things. You get a good reward, you get a real ground, and then you get what a sin being cleansed up. For every step, one, three things. Another one, three things that you can't quantify. Each of which you cannot quantify. When you are going to the masjid, don't you now see that those people who pray in their homes, they are losing a lot. They lose a lot. I beat the house and I beat one more. You are losing a lot. These men, you beat the house and I beat one mosque. That mosque will make you be losing a lot. Go to the masjid of the community. Allah makes it easy for us. In another hadith, he says, alayhi salatu wa salam, Man tawadda'a fi baytihi thumma ata al-masjida. Whoever makes wudu in his house and then comes to the masjid, fahuwa za'irun lillah, is a visitor to Allah. Wa haqqun ala al-mazur an yukrim al-za'ir. And the right over the one who is visited is that he should honor his visitor. When you come to the masjid, you are Allah's visitor. The right of the one who is visited and yukrima az-za'ir is that he should honor his visitor. So Allah will honor you when you come to the masjid. That hadith occurs in Mu'jam of Al-Imam al-Tabarani. Part of what the individual should take note also. يدعو بدعاء الخروج من البيت. We should make the dua of coming out of the house. Bismillah, tawakkaltu ala Allah, wa la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, and others. When you come, don't forget to make that dua. The sixth thing we like to mention, la yushabbitu bayna asabihi. Should not intersperse his hands. When you are coming to the masjid, don't do like this. It's haram. Don't intertwine your hands when you are coming to the masjid. Don't do like this. The Prophet prohibited it. Likewise, when you are waiting for Salah in the masjid, after your Imma Tahiyyatul Masjid or your Ratibah, make sure that you don't intersect your fingers of the two hands together like this. Tashbihul Asad, making the fingers to become shabaka, that is connecting your fingers. Don't do it like this. Although to do it after Salah is sunnah, but before Salah is prohibited. To intersect the hand before Salah, prohibited. After Salah, sunnah. Remember to practice it even if it is once in your life. The evidence for that occurs in the hadith of Zuliyadain. You remember the hadith of Zuliyadain. The Prophet in that hadith is good like this. It's a Shabbat Kabayin Asabi. That is sunnah. After Salah, connect your hands. But before Salah and when you are coming to the masjid, don't do it. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, it says, إِذَا تَوَضَّأَ أَحَدُكُمْ فَأَحْسَنَ وُضُوءَهُ. When any of you performs wudu and makes the wudu well, ثُمَّ خَرَجَ عَامِدًا إِلَى الْمَسْجِدِ, and then he comes out determined to go to the masjid, فَلَا يَشْبِكَنَّ بَيْنَ أَصَابِعِهِ. Let him not in any way connect between his fingers. فَإِنَّهُ فِي الصَّلَاةِ. Because when you are coming here, you are in Salah already. Look at our Lord. So once you start you started getting the word. The virtues of coming to the masjid are much. That hadith that I read occurs in Sunan al-Tirmidhi. It was also reported by Al-Imam Ibn Khuzaymah in his Sahih. It is from the hadith of Abu Huraira and Ka'b ibn Ujrah radiyallahu anhuma. The other etiquette also, يمشي وعليه السكينة والوقار. The individual should walk to the masjid وعليه السكينة, while tranquil, والوقار, and calm. Tranquility and what? Calmness. It applies to him driving too. Don't come like, no, don't come to the masjid like that. Come with tranquility, calmly to the masjid. Calm. Sakina will walk on. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, إِذَا أُقِيمَتِ الصَّلَاةُ إِذَا أُقِيمَتِ الصَّلَاةُ فَلَا تَأْتُوهَا تَسْعَوْا. When we start the Iqamah, you know, we may think that they say I should not rush because they have not quickly started the Iqamah. That's not what he's talking about. Even if the Iqamah is being started, not to talk about the time that the Iqamah has not started. Because the Iqamah will make us rush. Let me not miss the Rakah. Abi? So don't do that. Don't rush. What about when we have not started the Iqamah? Then Allah Babil Awla that you must not rush. It says, إِذَا أُقِيمَتِ الصَّلَاةُ فَلَا تَأْتُوهَا تَسْعَوْنَ. When the Salah becomes established, Iqamah is made, لَا تَأْتُوهَا. Don't come to that Salah تَسْعَوْنَ, like hastening. Don't. It says, وَأْتُوهَا تَمْشُونَ وَعَلَيْكُمُ السَّكِينَةُ. Come walking وَعَلَيْكُمُ السَّكِينَةُ, while you are tranquil. وَمَا أَدْرَكْتُمْ فَصَلُّوا. Whatever you need, please. وَمَا فَاتَكُمْ فَأَتِمُّوا. And whatever you need later, complete it. The one you miss, complete it. مَا فَاتَكُمْ. The one you miss, فَأَتِمُّوا. Complete it. But the one you miss, you say, if you miss 2 rakah, please. If you miss 3, please. If you miss only the Tahiyyah, our tashahhud, all you need to do is to fa'atimu ma fataka. You complete what has tatka. So that is the 7th adab of coming to the masjid. Coming calmly. The whole of the masjid will be originally coming into the masjid with the right feet. Anas ibn Malik radiyallahu anhu said, من السنة إذا دخلت المسجد. From the sunnah when you come to the masjid. A companion says من السنة. It means it is from which person's sunnah? Ana Tabmin of sunnah. Which person's sunnah is he talking about? The sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu. And tabda'a birijlika al-yumna, that you start with your right feet. وَإِذَا خَرَجْتَ أَنْ تَبْدَأَ بِرِجْلِكَ الْيُسْرَى. And then when you come out and tabda'a birijlika al-yusra, you go out with your left. Go out with your left. Palm left. Palm left. Very important. When you come into the masjid, come with your right. When you go out of the masjid, go with your left. And Abdullah ibn Umar used to do that. That hadith is a hadith of Anas ibn Malik. It is reported by Imam Hakim in his Mustadrak and Al-Bayhaqi in As-Sunan al-Kubra. Dua dukhul al-masjid. Before you come into the masjid with that right leg, there is supplication you will make. Different ones have been mentioned. But it is correct to mention all of them because they have different rewards. They have different rewards. So you can mention all the three. You will see with me now. Abu Usayd al-Ansari radiyallahu anhu said, إذا دخل, the Messenger alayhi salatu wasalam said, إذا دخل أحدكم المسجد فليسلم على النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. When any of you comes into the masjid, فليسلم على النبي. Let's make salat and salam on the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. ثم ليقل, after that he should say, اللهم افتح لي أبواب رحمتك. Make salat on the Prophet's school, and then say, Allahumma aftah li abwaab rahmatik. فَإِذَا خَرَجَ فَلْيَقُلْ, and when he goes out of the masjid, he should say, Allahumma inni as'aluka min fadlik. Oh Allah, I ask you from your favors. Allahumma aftah li abwaab rahmatik. Oh Allah, open the door of your rahmah to me. That is when you are coming into the masjid. There are explanations regarding this ulama make, but we will go to that. When you are coming to the masjid, you are asking for rahmah. When you are going out of the masjid, you are asking for what? Fadl. Why? Ulama explain it. But the point is, that is what we will do when we come to the masjid. You say, sallim ala as-salatu ala nabi first. Go. Then you say, Allahumma aftah li abwaab rahmatik. Okay. Anas ibn Malik radiyallahu anhu said, when you come into the masjid, the hadith occurs in Sahih Muslim. He said, Bismillah. Allahumma salli wa sallim ala Muhammadin. You see the connection between this and the first one. In the first one, he says, salli wa sallim. So this is how to make that taslim. You say, Bismillah. Allahumma salli wa sallim ala Muhammadin. Okay. And then you say, Allahumma aftah li abwaab rahmatik. It's remaining one. A'udhu billahi al-azim wa biwajhihi al-karim wa sultanihi al-qadim min ash-shaytan al-rajim. This dua is also dua of dukhul al-masjid. The Messenger says, alayhi salatu, any person who says this one, shaitan will not reach him throughout that day. And the time that I will say it is when I'm coming into the masjid. So it means to enter the masjid, you will cool down. You will cool down to make all these supplications. A'udhu billahi al-azim wa biwajhihi al-karim. A'udhu billahi al-azim. I ask the refuge. I ask the refuge or I ask refuge with Allah al-Azim, the mighty. And I ask that refuge by means of his noble face. His face is noble, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah has a face. وَسُلْطَانِهِ الْقَدِيمِ, and his authority that is not preceded by any authority. هُوَ الْأَوَّلُ وَلَيْسَ قَبْلَهُ شَيْءٌ. His authority is not preceded with anything. After you gather all this strength, you now mention the enemy. مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ الرَّجِيمِ. Against shaitan they are cursed. Throughout that day you are free from shaitan. So if you make it for Salah to Subi, you are free. So you make it for Subi, for Zuhr, for Asr, for Maghrib, for Isha. You see you are fortified. And you have said Bismillah, tawakkaltu ala Allah, wala hawla, wala quwwata illa billah before you came out. Because when you say that one, three things will be said about you. Kufita, Mukita. It will be said Kufita, you have sufficed. Allah is sufficient for you. Mukita, you are protected. What is the third one? Mukita, you have been preserved from any evil. That is the one when you are coming out of the house. When you now get in front of the masjid, you say Masjid, you say A'udhu Billahi al-Azim wa biwajhihi al-kareem wa sultanihi al-qadeem min ash-shaytan ar-rajim. Bismillah. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. You enter the mosque. With what? With your right leg. This is how to come into the masjid. When you are going out, you only say Bismillah wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulullah wa Bismillah Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin, and then you say Allahumma aftahni, Allahumma inni as'aluka min. So this is how to come into the masjid and how to go out of the masjid. Subhanallah. How much time have we spent? Now, we still have about 10 minutes. Alhamdulillah. The 10 minutes for questions or the 10 minutes for discussion, because we all want to open the issue of Tahiyyatul Masjid. The big issue. If you come to the masjid, don't sit down till you make 2 rakats of nafil. But the issue why it is a bit expanded is that ulama are divided, and we have to be able to make a point. Some say it is obligatory. If you don't observe it, you are committing a sin. When you come into the masjid, don't sit down till you make 2 rakats. Then you sit down. That's 2 rakats. It is referred to as what? Tahiyyatul Masjid. Greeting the masjid. The greeting of the masjid. Some ulama say it is obligatory, and this is the correct thing, it is obligatory. But the large, wide majority say it is not. That some even quote ittifaq. Some say there is a consensus that it is not obligatory. But you know, it's not sufficient to quote a claim. It remains to be proven. If we say there is consensus, and we find the companion doing the opposite, we find others amongst the ai saying other than what you are saying that there is a consensus, then we know that that ijma is very munaqid. You are quoting a consensus that does not, that cannot be proven to exist, that is not established, that is not affirmed. So we have control. Abu Qatada as-Sulami, radiyallahu anhu, he came into the masjid one day and saw the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam sit in the company with the companions. So the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, ما منعك أن تركع ركعتين قبل أن تجلس؟ ما منعك أن تركع ركعتين قبل أن تجلس؟ What stopped you? What prevented you from making 2 rakats of nafila before you sit down? 2 rakats. Remove that nafila that I have put there. ما منعك أن تركع ركعتين What has prevented you from making 2 units of prayer? Qabla and tajlis, qabla julusika, before you sat down. The companion said, radiyallahu anhu, رأيتك جالسا والناس جلوس. رأيتك جالسا, oh Messenger of Allah, I saw you sitting down. والناس جلوس, and the people are also in the condition that they are sitting down. فقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم, then the messenger said عليه الصلاة والسلام, إذا دخل أحدكم المسجد, when any of you comes into a masjid, فلا يجلس, haram for you, لا تجلس. So the Prophet says عليه الصلاة, فلا يجلس حتى يركع ركعتين. If anybody comes into the masjid, فلا يجلس, he didn't say perform salah, it's prohibiting him. فلا يجلس حتى يركع ركعتين. The only time he is allowed to sit down is when he makes 2 rakat of prayer. فلا يجلس حتى يركع ركعتين. This hadith of Abu Qatada as-Sulami, it occurs in Sahih al-Bukhari, it occurs in Sahih Muslim, and in other books like Al-Musnad by Al-Imam Abu Awana. In the Musnad of Abu Awana, he made a tadweed for this hadith, a chapter title. The section under which he placed this hadith, it says, Bayanu Ijab al-Rakatayn, explaining the obligation of 2 rakats, explaining, presenting the proof that 2 rakats is obligatory or not, ala man yadkhul al-masjid, upon the one who comes into the masjid, qabla an yajlisa, before that person sits down. What is the fiqh of this imam? بيان إيجاب الركعتين على من يدخل المسجد قبل أن يجلس. Bayan, explanation about the obligation of making 2 rakats upon the person who comes into a masjid before he sits down. It means this imam considers these 2 rakats as what? Obligation. So don't say, the Muqaddimun did not say. Al-Imam Abu Awana died in the early 3rd century, around 315, 316. So it's Mutaqaddim Jidda. 315, 316. He passed away. And he has a book, Musnad Abu Awana. So they say, I want to ask Abu what is up? Abu Awana said it. Rahimahumullah. The second hadith occurs in Sahih Ibn Hibban. As for Ibn Hibban, when he mentioned this hadith of Abu Qatada, he also gave a tabweed. Zikru Zajri anil Julus. Zikru al-Zajri anil Julus. Mentioning the warning. What is he warning against us? Anil Julus. Warning against sitting down. Lidakhil al-Masjid. Regarding the one who comes into a masjid, قبل أن يصلي ركعتين, before he says 2 rak'atayn, there is budget, 2 rak'ats. Before there is a warning that he must not sit down until he has performed 2 rak'ats. What is the fiqh of this imam? Budget is warned. It means that it is obligatory for him to pray, and it is forbidden for him to sit down without praying. If you died in the early 320s, around 320, 325, Ibn Hibban. So they say, oh, what is short to take? Allah protect us. The reason I'm saying is that one of the reasons people is they say, people are just saying, no, people have said it long ago, you didn't read it. 300 and something after the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu. That's about 1,100 years before today. You see, one person saw me. He was a shed man. You said it long ago. May Allah protect us, and this is also evidence that there is no ijma on that issue. Abu Dharr radiyallahu anhu. What is the name of Abu Dharr al-Ghifari? Jundub ibn Junaad. He came into the masjid. He دخل المسجد فقال له النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. He came into the masjid and the Prophet asked him, أركعت ركعتين? Have you prayed 2 minutes of prayer? قال لا. Said no, I have not prayed. The Prophet says, قم فاركعهما. قم, do it. فاركعهما. And pray the 2 of them. This is also command from the Prophet Muhammad. So it has come the nahi, not the feedback. It has also come the He commanded it. And he prohibited sitting down before it to emphasize that you must perform itself. That after occurs in Sahih ibn Hibban. Although I did not find it in Sahih ibn Hibban. I searched for it. But two amongst the ulama have quoted it and ascribed it to Ibn Hibban. The first person I saw putting it and ascribing it to Ibn Hibban was Shaykh Al-Albani in his book As-Samar al-Mustatab, in the 2nd volume of that book. The person who also ascribed this author of Abu Dharr to Ibn Hibban was Shaykh Mashhur Hassan al-Salman in his book Al-Qawl al-Mubin fi Akhta al-Musallin. They both say that Al-Hafiz ibn Hajar mentioned it in Al-Fath al-Bari that this affair occurs in Sahih ibn Hibban. But I thought Sahih ibn Hibban, not Shamilahu, Sahih ibn Hibban itself. I did not see it on that. There is a difference between the two. So when I say I touch, don't think that I keep it, I touch. No, I stated it one page after the other. I did not see it inside. May Allah forgive me. Perhaps somebody else will see it and tell us where it is. That's why I'm saying it. Ada'amil Aman. You can go and search Ibn Hibban now, you don't see it. You say, you want to say, okay, what's the point? I've told you who said it. Ibn Hajar said it. Al-Albani said it, rahimahullah. And Shaykh Mashhur Hassan al-Salman said it, that it's in Sahih Ibn Hibban. But I have not seen it in Ibn Hibban. Perhaps it's not in my own copy. Yes, it happens like that. There are issues of tahqiq, verification of text, that things like that happen. So, in that the Prophet prohibited Abu Dharr from sitting in the masjid. When he sat down, told him stand up and pray 2 rakats of Nafil. And Shaykh Mashhur Hassan in his book Al-Qawl al-Mubin, it says, ترجم عليه ابن حبان. Ibn Hibban gave a chapter heading that أن تحية المسجد لا تفوت بالجلوس. تحية المسجid is not made off by the individuals sitting down. Because we have already sat down, does not mean that I have no need to stand up and pray. Because Abu Dharr has sat down. They say, what did you pray? You know, stand up, pray it now. It means if you sit down, not having prayed it, and you remember you have not prayed, stand up and do what? Pray. If it were not obligatory, you will not do that. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, one day, it's a long story between himself and Jabir ibn Abdullah al-Ansari. They went on a journey and Jabir's camel was moving fast. The Prophet's camel was not moving fast. Later, Jabir's camel was not moving fast. At the point in time, the camel sat down and refused to go. Camel. He tried all he could, the camel refused to stand up. So he came to report to the Prophet Muhammad. My camel has refused movement too. The Prophet came sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and spoke to the ears of the camel. The camel stood up and started moving. Better than all the camels. It entered Medina before all the camels. And it's from the miracles of the Prophet Muhammad. It's not going to let me talk to you. Allah knew what he said. The camel stood up. He became the fastest camel to the extent that he himself was interested in the camel. So Jabir sell this camel to me. Say, no, Prophet, I will sell it. I beg you. Say, I won't sell it. I know the seller. It means no matter how big the sheikh is, you can say, tell me something to say, sheikh, you can say that. So we are talking like this. So the Prophet offered me. So when he saw that the Prophet said, okay, I'll sell it. But when he said, I don't have money now, the Prophet said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he collected that camel from Jabir ibn Abdullah and sold it on credit. And Nabi, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So if you are a car dealer and the Sheikh says, give me your 2014 Prado Jeep, I will pay you tomorrow. Don't say, I want to pass down Monday. You can see that camel was a sound camel. The Prophet wanted to say, the companion said, the Prophet will like dunya. It is not wrong for a mala, a tolerable aim to like good things of this dunya. It's made for him. Allah says, هِيَ لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا فِي الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا. It's for them. Allah created it for them. هُوَ الَّذِي خَلَقَ لَكُم مَّا فِي الْأَرْضِ جَمِيعًا. نِعْمَ الْمَالُ الصَّالِحُ لِرَجُلٍ صَالِحٍ. In the past, they think that malams must be a dirty, stinking person, never do well, it's not doing anything well. Everybody will be giving him money. Hey, sorry, malam, please. No. Don't do this kind of manner. If a person is like that, he chose it for himself. It's not Allah that told him to be like that. And it's not the Prophet Muhammad that told him to be like that. You can see the Prophet now seeking to buy a fast-moving, nice, active camel now. That is to say, like buying a fast-moving, nice car. That is the only thing you can compare it to today. And you didn't have the money, so I'll pay later. Okay, I give you the camel. It was on that trip that Jabir ibn Abdullah Ansari came to tell the Prophet that I want to marry. And the Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, that I should marry a virgin girl. It was on that trip. That was why when they returned to Medina, he asked him, Jabir, what about the woman you said you want to marry? You remember? You remember that hadith? It's part of it. It's a single lengthy hadith, but ulama break it. Very lengthy. Where we are going is, Jabir came to the masjid to ask for the money of the camel from the Prophet Muhammad. I have to watch that the Prophet and the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam says, Salli rakat. You just came and sat down. They say, finish your summer. And the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, stand up. والعقل يريد الحقيقة من الوجود وحين التحقيق والعقل والقدر والقدر يريد بأكثر وعي وقرار لو نعلم فيه بحقيقته تحريم ذلك عن فترة الوقت كده ويبدأ الانحراف يريد هو that proposal is very low. If you know the best thing possible for you that I ask you, then no. You present the evidence for and just and work the explanation. The evidence that people know what to do is one for one I also say and talking about say that you don't want to create a relation that is in business. I will also say that it is a sufficient in mercy. I don't want to say that, but the rule is the law. And the rule and Hawaii is the law. It's still a little doubt. So what you say I have mentioned is, it does not come up that it is the law. Or that it is the law, we see that in the language without making Sahiyah in mercy. We give the Abu Naasir, give the Shaykh, and then it was manner of the Prophet. Let's read this. While Marwan, who was the Amir at the time, was making khutbah, فقام يصلي khutbah. What is the hukum of khutbah on the day of Jummah? Listening to the khutbah. What is the hukum? Wajib. It's obligatory. In fact, if you make a talk during the khutbah, the Jummah is rendered invalid. Èyí sọ̀rọ̀ níjọ́ Jímọ̀, ìmáàmù nìkan ni ó sọ̀rọ̀. So when you now start saying Rabbana Zalamna Anfusana, who sent you that one? It is haram for you to say anything on the day of Jummah. Don't even say. When you say, oh brother, sit down, don't talk, you too, your Jummah has spoiled. Somebody is talking. You tell him don't talk. The Jummah has spoiled. So everybody remains silent. Watching. When this companion came into the masjid, he started making 2 rakats. فقام يصلي. Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, he started praying salah. فجاء الحرس ليجلسوه. The guards of Marwan, like saying the bodyguards of the Amir, and they came to drag him down. As they were drawing him, he was praying the salah. Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, as they were pulling him, he was resisting the pull, insisting upon performing the salah. فَأَبَى حَتَّى صَلَّى. He refused to sit down until he had finished the prayer. After the Jummah, they went to him and he said, لَنْ أَدَعَهُمَا أَبَدًا بَعْدَ أَنْ سَمِعْتُهُ مِنْ رَسُولِ اللَّهِ. I will never leave those 2 rakats after I have heard it from the Prophet Muhammad. Ulama say if he does not consider it wajib, they will not be dragging him and he will be dragging himself to perform too. If it is not wajib, it will not be necessary for him to be insisting while they are pulling him. This hadith occurs in Sunan al-Tirmidhi of Al-Imam al-Tirmidhi. Go back to it. So if there is an ijma that is not wajib, this companion will not do. They are pulling, he is pulling them. They are pulling, he is pulling them. I must pray. And then he says, I will never stop this rakah that I perform, these 2 salah, these 2 minutes of prayer, after I have heard what did he hear. So let's hear what he heard. That's making him insist. The pushing is pushing them. I will pray. You will not pray. Go down till he finished. What did Abu Sa'id al-Khudri hear or see that made him to do that? A man called Shaykh al-Ghatfani came to the masjid one day, radiyallahu anhu, when Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was making khutbah. He came and sat down. The Prophet says, Ya Shaykh, صليت ركعتين. Oh Shaykh, have you prayed the 2 rakats? قال لا. Said no, Messenger of Allah. فقال صلى الله عليه وسلم. When the khutbah was going on, the Prophet stopped the khutbah. Said, you, have you prayed 2 rakats? He said no, sir. The Prophet said alayhi salam, Kum farka rak'atayn. Stand up and pray 2 rakats. He stopped the khutbah to do that. And Sulaik also stopped listening to the khutbah to do that. Ulama say la yasbitu al-wajib illa wajibun. Nothing will bring something that is obligatory after it, except that thing itself is what? Obligatory. If it is not obligatory, he will not answer. He will not stop khutbah and say stand up. Please. He says, Kum farka rak'atayn wa tajawwaz fihima. Stand up and pray the 2 rakats and make them brief. Ulama say this is evidence that this salah is obligatory. After he finished talking to Shaykh al-Ghatfani, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam changed the topic of the khutbah and said, إِذَا جَاءَ أَحَدُكُمْ يَوْمَ الْجُمْعَةِ. He finished talking to him. He turned to the rest of it. when any of you come to the masjid on the day of Jum'ah, while Imam yakhtubu, while the Imam was making khutbah, فَلْيَرْكَعْ رَكَعَتَيْنِ خَفِيفَتَيْنِ, let him make 2 quick rak'at يَتَجَوَّزُ فِيهِمَا, and make them brief. ثُمَّ لِيَجْلِسْ, after making them, you should do what? You should sit down. Ulama say this is evidence that this salah is obligatory. That was what Abu Sa'id al-Khudri said. That was why he said, I will never stop. After I have heard it from you, I will never stop praying. So when they dragged him, see that he was fooling himself. So this companion did this after the lifetime of the Prophet Muhammad. And there were companions there. Nobody went there to tell him that, look, Abu Sa'id, you are extreme. Why were you insisting to continue those rak'atayn after the Prophet has allowed us that if we like, we can pray. If we don't like, we can do it. Nobody did that. That is evidence that it is wajib for us to perform Tahiyyatul Masjid if we want to sit down in the masjid. Those who say it is not wajib, they have said some things. They have said a few things, but there is none of those things that is strong enough to make us believe that it is not wajib. For an individual who comes into the masjid to sit down, nothing is said. For example, let's say some things they said. Cool? So that you don't know what was upon some kind of king of so good and so forth. Even if it is one, tell us. They said one day the hadith of Abu Naasir in al-Laythi. One day the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was sitting with the companions. So Abu Naasir in al-Laythi said, one companion came in and sat down. You remember the hadith? The other one came and sat away. The other one came in and walked away. He said that one came and sat down. The Prophet didn't say stand up and pray. 2 rakats of Nafil. That is the evidence that Abu Malik brought in Sahih Sunnah. Because the Prophet didn't tell him stand up and pray. So that what about the ones he said stand up and pray? Are we going to use something regarding which he was silent? If it was that man has not prayed. Because there is no definite evidence to prove that man has not prayed. The man who came in and sat down, perhaps the reporter was interested in saying that he joined the Jama'ah. So he didn't mention that he had prayed. But in this evidence, we see reports wherein people came in and sat down without praying. The Prophet said, stand up and pray. So that should take precedence over the kind of report that did not mention that the person prayed. Because it is possible that the person had prayed before the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, before he was mentioned in narration that okay, he now came and sat in front of the Prophet Muhammad. The same thing applied. They said one day one of the companions came in, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was on the mimbar making khutbah salatul Jum'ah. So that companion started to climb the people going to the front. The Prophet said, "Idris, فَقَدْ آذَيْتَ وَآنَيْتَ." Sit down. You have caused harm and disturbed the rest of the people. He said, the Prophet said, "You should sit down." It was not mentioned that that person had performed Tahiyyatul Masjid before he did that. So that is also evidence to prove that we should not perform Tahiyyatul Masjid when there are clear-cut situations of people who came and he told them stand up and pray. After that, he turned to the rest of the people and said, everybody listen, when you come in, you must do this. So because it was not mentioned that that man prayed Tahiyyatul Masjid, that is evidence that you may not pray Tahiyyatul Masjid. Things like this. So we cannot give precedence for a matter because it was not mentioned over a situation where regarding our case, though it was clearly mentioned and the ruling is a ruling of obligation. For all of those responses, you find it useful when you check Nailul Awtar of Al-Imam Shawkani rahimahullah. For me, it's one of the best works that I have seen. Since I saw this, this issue is not today's issue. I'm sure you know that. I've never been convinced by what anybody said. Check Nailul Awtar. You read it along with this book. There are 2 different positions, so it will help you to understand where to stay. But the correct thing, inshallah, is that it is wajib. When you come into the masjid, before you see that, make 2 minutes of nafila, make 2 minutes of prayer. May Allah accept our prayer. We stop here, inshallah. The time is already past 10. We may take 1, 2, 3 questions before we depart today. Tomorrow, in our next class, inshallah, we'll continue with the adab of staying in the masjid. Now we finish with coming to the masjid, building the masjid, coming to the masjid. Okay, how do I stay in the masjid? How do we stay in the masjid? Is it allowed for a Christian to come into the masjid? Christian. Okay, does it work? Is it allowed for them to come to the masjid? Can we bring an animal to the masjid? Somebody can bring somewhere now. And tie it here. You do not say, is it allowed? We'll discuss this issue. Is it allowed to bring children to the masjid? Children. Even when the child says, is it allowed? We'll discuss these matters, inshallah. Is it allowed to sit down, face the Qibla with your leg? Is it allowed to eat in the masjid? Is it allowed for somebody to be living in the masjid and sleeping in the masjid? Is it allowed? That brother is. Or woman. Can a woman live in the masjid? Don't forget, she will be menstruating. Can she live in the masjid? We'll discuss these matters, inshallah, in our next class. The report of all of that is that all those things I mentioned is permissible. It's permissible to bring an animal to the masjid. Abdullah ibn Abbas, he tied his animal in the masjid. It's allowed. But because now we are putting rug, marble, and nobody sent us that one. We're ready to go. And you know, if the animal, if it urinates in the masjid, is it najasa? What if it defecates in the masjid? Is it najasa? You see now? You see how knowledge benefits? Yes, we can remove it. But it doesn't mean that there's najasa in the masjid. But if now, Baba Pastor, can you want something? It's najasa. He's not done anything because ma yu'kalu lahmuhu is not najasa. The urine of an animal that is eaten as food is not najis. It can even be drank if you want to drink it. The urine of camels, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told people to drink it. That is evidence that it is not najis. I think it's suffices that we stop here to discuss this matter. Can someone design a musalla? It is discouraged because it will prevent you from concentrating in the salah. The Prophet had a musalla like that, a sajjada, and he had to throw it away because it was distracting his attention. Can we say Amin when Imam is staying in the member on the day of Jummah? Yes, we can say Amin. Ulama say we can say Amin on the day of Jummah. But it's not allowed to raise the two hands. It is bid'ah. Bid'ah for Imam to only get Jummah. Imam to bid'ah. Nobody said him that. So what should he do? He should raise his hand and point it. Like this. If an imam does it now, they say, meanwhile, it is sunnah. On the day of Jummah, on the minbar. Don't say, رَبَّنَا لَا تُزِغْ قُلُوبَنَا بَعْدَ إِذْ هَدَيْتَنَا وَهَبْ لَنَا مِن لَّدُنكَ رَحْمَةً. One day they will ask you, but the reason they will ask is that we have kept the people ignorant for a long time. When they see one apart, this one say, "Our apart no wagini." Our apart no yeko wagini. Anabi wo aṣọ tí wo ṣe siri. And his best color was green. He was a neat person, well dressed, to the extent that when he walked, the companions said they never saw something as handsome as him. Apart from what they did, so people now say, because what you people say, the thing that is new Malami should be. Yes, if a person has performed wudu and is coming to the masjid, he is already in salah, so he should not connect in between his fingers. Yes, he's after. So if somebody greets me, can I answer? Yes, you can answer. But what it means is that don't be making Allah. You go to the mosque, Manchester, these guys start arguing. You are in salah. Really, as much as is possible, you should maintain calmness. It doesn't mean don't talk at all, because you have actually not commenced salah, but you are in the mood. Salah maybe, so you should be in the mood already. That is what it means. And then you'll be having a reward. You understand? So you're already preparing your mind for salah. So all those things you are doing, Manchester, this that people get engaged with. So even because of that, forget zikr of entering the masjid, all of this zikr of leaving the house, the zikr they stay on the way to the road, to the masjid. Allahumma jal fi qalbi nura wa yamini. I didn't remember to mention that one. Go back to Ibn Muslim. Fawqi nura wa tahti nura, Allahumma jal li nura. Oh Allah, give me light, put in front of me light, put above me light, put in my right side light, my left, right, in my heart light, everything around me light. Instead of saying this one, they are shouting Manchester. May Allah protect us. Anybody, Christian, Muslim, Jew, pagan, anybody greets you, you can answer. Alaykum salam. Salah salata illa al-maktuba. If a person comes into the masjid and an obligatory salah is going on, should he still make tahiyyat al-masjid? No. You should make the obligatory salah that is going on. Or if you don't make tahiyyat al-masjid, do you want to sit down after tahiyyat al-masjid? Because tahiyyat al-masjid is meant for the one who wants to sit down. No, it's not performing tahiyyat al-masjid after the obligatory salah. Alaykum salam. But if you come in and it's not time for salah, you want to sit down in the masjid, you must make tahiyyat al-masjid. Now, you do that. Now, so people are yes, it's allowed. Al-Hafiz ibn Hajar mentioned it in Al-Fath when he discussed the hadith of carrying a baby. We mentioned it if Allah wills. The Messenger alayhi salatu salam, he said sometimes when he reads in salah, he wants to prolong it, he will quicken it. They say, oh, so it means if I intend to prolong it, and because of the cries of children, I quicken it, it also means if I want to quicken it, I may delay it because of them. Do you understand? Okay, let me bring a clearer hadith. Was it a child playing behind him when he was on ruku or sujood? Sujood. He was patient until the baby came down, then he stood up. Don't worry, inshallah, when we discuss the issues of children, there are hadiths that mention these things clearer. So you can delay, you can increase the length of the rak'ah so that some people can join or sujood. You notice that people are coming, you can remain a bit quiet. There are clear-cut expressions of ulama about this matter that it is allowed. Alaykum salam. Now, money raised in the masjid. Money. What do you mean by that? Mosque maintenance. إنما يأمر مساجد الله من آمن بالله واليوم الآخر. Those people who are responsible for maintaining the masjid are those who believe in Allah and the day of Qiyamah. Ulama draw this to say that the responsibility of maintaining the masjid is upon those who are around, who use the masjid. So from maintaining the masjid is perhaps paying for electricity bills, cleaning the masjid, paying the people who clean the mosque if we don't clean it by our own hands, paying the watchmen, security, all of this. So that's what it should be used for. If the mosque is also responsible for other things in the congregation apart from that, then they should use it for that, as agreed upon by the masjid itself. It's allowed, inshallah. Alaykum salam. If you go out of the mosque and come out, you come back again, you must repay it again, because you have entered the mosque a second time. You enter the masjid, you make tahiyyat in masjid. You remember our women, you make tahiyyat in masjid, your child ran out. You go out to pick that child. When you come out, you make tahiyyat in masjid again. Because what he said is, إِذَا دَخَلَ أَحَدُكُمْ, when you enter. So each time you can affirm that I'm entering, it is obligatory on you to make tahiyyat in masjid. So when you bring your child, hold your child to yourself. If the child goes out, you go out and pick the child, you make sure that when you come back, you perform 2 rakats again. Alaykum salam. Tahiyyat in masjid at forbidden times, ulama says it is allowed because it is from zawatul asbab and it is not zawatul waqt. It is from zawatul asbab. So salawat that becomes obligatory because of a sabab. It is not in itself that it is obligatory. It is because there is a reason, something caused it. So whenever that thing that caused it occurs, it becomes obligatory. So anytime that thing caused it that comes up, it becomes obligatory. Allahu Akbar. Shaykh Mashur Hassan al-Salman said it. And Imam al-Shawkani also said it in Nail al-Awfar. Others amongst ulama said it too. Even amongst those who believe that it is mustahab. Shaykh Mazmur, he has a bughiyatul mutatawwi fi salati tatawwi. He mentioned it to expressly that it is not restricted to any particular time. He is amongst the ulama of Saudi Arabia who believe that tahiyyatul masjid is wajib. He mentioned it clearly. Hafizahullah, because he is still alive. Sheikh Muhammad ibn Salim ibn Sheikh Muhammad ibn Umar ibn Salim Bazmur. There are 2 of them. That's why I'm distinguishing. Now, alaykum as-salam. The other one is Ahmad Bazmur. This one is Muhammad Bazmur. They are brothers. And they both taught in Jamia Islamiyah. But this one is Muhammad ibn Umar. The other one is Ahmad ibn Umar. Now, I didn't say that. Okay. Can we not use other than pillars as sutra in the masjid? The Kaaba. What happened to the Kaaba? Because it needed to have a pillar. I think you didn't get the point. If there is a need for it, you put it according to need. But to make it just there without need, it will obstruct. That's one. Secondly, salah in between the pillar for an individual is allowed. It's one of the reasons people who say that the pillars, no problem, let them be there. It's one of the things they say. They said the Messenger alayhi salatu salam, when he came into the Kaaba, he prayed in between 2 pillars amongst the pillars of the Kaaba. They say it's not successful. It is kunna nunha anna suffa. We were prohibited from sufuf. We are bringing what one person did, and we mentioned it that it is allowed for you, one individual, to pray nafil there. Do you remember that? The evidence is this hadith of the messenger inside the Kaaba. If there is a need for the masjid now, why there's no need to say, oh, to design, to make cemetery, don't put it. And because you can use some other things for sutra. You can use any other things for sutra. You can use behind the person praying. You can use other sticks now that are made for all of those things. So instead of making the pillar, especially when the masjid is small, you now put pillars. You force the people to be praying in between the pillars. So if there is no need for those pillars, don't put it there. If there is need, put it. If you can do without it, do without it. So that you use other things for your sutra. Allahu Akbar. Regarding what? No, don't talk about joining Jama. Masajid. Masajid? No, don't bring Salah. I don't want issue on Salah. People who have issues on the issue of Masjid. About Masjid? Okay, Bismillah. We will mention it when we discuss Salatul Masjid. Alaykum Salam. Now, to what extent can we use our shadows to determine the Qibla? For those of us along this region, especially Nigeria, it's one of the easiest ways to determine our Qibla. In the morning, your shadow will be opposite the direction of the Qibla. In the morning. In the afternoons and evenings, your shadow will be in the direction of the Qibla. Approximately. So if you pray in that direction, you are not wrong. Your image will be opposite the Qibla in the morning. Your image will be in the direction of the Qibla in the afternoon. After Zuhur. That is after the sun descends the horizon. The image will change its direction. We will mention this better at Mawaqit, the times of Salah, when we discuss the time of Zuhur and Asr. Inshallah. I think it suffices that we stop there. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. آمين.